Was that? Did they use a zither in SpongeBob?
I don't know, but it's similar enough.
Everybody I talked to when I was playing that for people at work, they're like, "We watching SpongeBob over there?" Like, no, it's a third man. Damn it! It's great cinema.
It's one of the greatest cinemas, and I'm glad you made us watch it because I'd never seen it.
This
you never seen
this has been on our list for a while. Actually, you've brought this is because it's been on Netflix for a while.
And you know what?
There
was so much of this movie I've seen, but didn't know I've seen for years.
I've never seen it before.
You never saw it?
No.
Well, the first man and the second man are pretty good, but the third man,
That's where they really got the formula down.
it's different. You know.
Well, the first man was Neil Armstrong. That came out last year.
No, it was the Goose. What's his name? Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
What?
He was the first man.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
The second man was somebody who we don't remember.
Wow, you had that ready to go.
That was our good buddy Shinraku.
That was really good.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sound
yeah.
like Jeff Goldblum.
I'm
evil Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
So this is Spark About Us. We're gonna do we review movies that then we'll give our rating out of 10. But today we're doing The Third Man, which is one of Ben's ongoing picks. It was on Netflix, so if you want to go watch it before you listen, it's available for everybody. But if you just want to hear kind of a vague idea about what movie we're reviewing, Ben, do you want to give people some? Do you want to give people a summary?
Do you want to tell him how you got those scars?
I will. Messengers loading.
I see.
Vamping.
Oh. Ready?
Yep.
Hit.
Yes. The Third Man is a 1949 British film noir, directed by Carol Reed, written by Graham Greene, and starring Joseph Cotton, Lydia Vallee, Orson Welles, and Trevor Howard. The film is set in post-World War II Vienna. It centers on Holly Martin, an American who is given a job in Vienna by his friend Harry Lime. But when Holly arrives in Vienna, he gets the news that Lime is dead. Martin then meets with Lime's acquaintances in an attempt to investigate what he considers a suspicious death and his suspicions of the Third Man.
That's beautiful. You know what was really fun?
That's a really bad Orson Welles.
Well, yes, the wine.
By the end of this,
Yes.
you'll get it done.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, always.
Matt, can I say, just getting the graphics prep for this, the
You really?
footage,
I just saw the marquee there.
yeah, I did a joke one and I forgot to do a real one. Just the footage playing behind you, I was able to play with some 4K transfer footage that was recently done, and it's good looking footage, man.
It looks pretty
was
good.
Netflix in 4K?
I think they call it Super HD.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still pretty good.
I don't have a 4K
It's good.
TV.
It wasn't like the
For streaming, it's great.
It wasn't like the Dracula in 4K.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should that be the first thing we talk about? The
Let's
music?
talk about the
That's
zither.
literally the first thing I have in my notes is SpongeBob music. It's the first thing.
It's called a zither.
Yeah.
It is pervasive too. It is
It
all
is.
the way through.
It was a bold choice.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the
very bold.
40s.
Very
Bold
bold.
is the word I would
Think about
use.
the 40s.
1949. Yeah.
I actually think if they would have used the traditional score, this would be like forgotten.
No,
Really?
no.
You think so?
I think so.
That's not impossible.
I think, and not forgotten. I think it wouldn't be as bold. I still think everything else is good, but the choice to use that
I can't
zither is a very
believe-
strong
Okay.
directorial choice.
I
I loved it.
I'm just going to tell you, I ultimately didn't remove the full point, but I debated removing one full point because of the SpongeBob music.
What?
It
You
did
suck.
not.
You
It did
suck,
not,
man.
Are you kidding me?
Is that on-
Let him speak his mind.
What? How would you describe the tone of this movie? How would you describe the story tone? Like overall, like emotion you're getting from what is happening in the movie. Tell me that first, and then tell me how the SpongeBob music works
no,
with it.
I'll tell you.
SpongeBob has third man music.
Fair, yes.
I'll tell you how.
I get
I'll
that
tell you
order-
exactly
got that
how.
order
I'll
backwards.
tell you exactly how. This is why it works for this movie. And this is why it's awesome. One, it gives kind of so the tone of the movie is all like fucked up. It's a fucked up thing. Mm-hmm. And to add on that tone, we have this bizarre choice of using a zither, which has become which has a lot of German heritage. There's the German instrument. So in Austria, it's part of not Austria, but Vienna, where this is
Same
taking place.
thing.
It's very
Okay.
It's a musically. I mean, Mozart
applies to the
Mozart was buried there.
the location they're in.
The Stradivarius, violins. Music is, predominant in there, but also it has such an interesting, off-putting juxtaposition of what's going on, even in the commitment to use it, that it works for this off feeling you get.
I obviously disagree. Aaron, where do you
Oh
fall
my
on
God!
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
How dare he
There's just-
have a differing opinion?
well, it's just a difference.
I'm just saying you weren't listening to it.
yeah, he was.
He's
I'll
like-
tell
he's
you
like-
what I
You're
think.
right. I
he's like,
muted it.
You know what he's like? He's like the chef in the beginning of Beauty and the Beast. Marie, the baguettes. Hurry up. That's nice.
He's a blithering zither. Now,
Why does it tell you I like books?
So he's being chased through like the dilapidated ruins of like this cityscape that he's hiding from people chasing him because they want to catch him and they think he's committed murder, and it's like.
Would you prefer
it's not
saxophone?
I didn't get a juxtaposition. I got like
Well,
this
but-
was just a
oh, hold on,
weird
Matt,
choice.
Matt.
I don't think so. I think it worked.
Let-
I think it worked.
May
Well,
I?
let's let
May
Aaron
I?
Aaron be the third man.
Oh my God, that deserves claps right there. Good job, Matt.
It's part of the identity of this movie.
Yeah, it kind of is. I didn't always agree with the zither, but I chalk it up mostly to regional and time differences. I mean, this is a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But
But it's a bold choice then.
sure, it was very notable
No one
for
would
that
do it
even
now.
then. That's true.
No one ever takes chances now.
You done?
I'm just adding on. What you're
Okay.
saying.
I did get a big sense of, wow, this doesn't fit a lot, and that is because it feels like it was intended in a lot of places, not everywhere, but the setting of the movie is post-war, where everybody's trying to get along with their lives, move on, pretending everything's fine when it's not, and that's what I got from the music a lot. It's overly happy in places where it shouldn't be, and that to me kind of reflected the setting. And I felt like it worked.
I think it made it depressing. And I think, but
Well, no,
but-
not
but-
so much depressing, that feelings are being ignored.
But like
Yeah.
to me, so I could agree with you, I guess, if
I loved it. Every time that music played, though. Every time that music played, it's like I was like, yes,
Yeah, dude,
yeah.
man.
No, but you get mad at me for adding a point. You're just going to interrupt. You're going to make fun of my
third man.
Yeah, third. No comment first, third. But no, I think the music is part of the identity of it. It's a bold choice, but also it adds to the grin of the whole movie. The whole feel of this movie.
the thing about it,
It's not it's like I think it separates it from most noirs.
where I guess I'm having trouble, and I mean, if it's part of the identity for the movie for you, that's awesome. I mean,
I think everybody who loves
it
it
absolutely stands out. I don't disagree.
I think
there.
everybody who loves it thinks it's part of the identity.
The thing about this, there were two big scenes that I thought were just spectacular in this movie, just amazing scenes.
The sewer.
obviously the end
Obviously.
is the sewer, is
Yeah.
the big chase, and then the second was on the Ferris wheel when we first after
Oh yeah, that was great.
Orson Welles does that long walk up, and then they get on. I thought that whole scene in the Ferris wheel car, or whatever, the box.
no music to it.
There's no music there. There's no music at the end either.
Yeah,
And
that
so
was what I was about to call out.
if they were gonna, to me, if the music could have been a fun punctuation, maybe if it felt more like they were playing it intentionally for. This is wild and crazy, but holy crap, this is so actually really serious. If they played that up a little bit more, I think I would have be more on board with what you're saying.
No, because so here's a good point. So they didn't use the music in terms of the most suspenseful parts of it because they wanted the ambient and the sound. And there's some really good sound mixing, especially in the tunnels when you hear all
Especially
the
for
different
the time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, this is great.
And what movie did we watch last week that was really tense?
No Country for Old
And
Men.
there was no music at all in it. So the music is not accenting the points. It does a little like for the jokes and stuff, or like little things like that. But it's kind of the in between filler of like the thread of the whole thing, where it's just like next chapter, and
It almost felt like an audio book.
yeah. But I think this.
Have
this
you
movie
heard of
would- this
Blue
movie-
Apron?
I think this movie would not be as great without the music.
Okay.
And
Well,
I think I'm not the only one who thinks that.
many people are saying.
My mom thinks so.
Yeah. In fact, she has a zither right now. She's practicing. She's going to zither lessons. Excuse me, sir. Your zither's open.
Next year, you saw Ghostbusters. Now get ready for the third woman.
Instead of Henry Lime, you get Henrietta Peach. Cheeseburgers.
Oh boy.
So the start of the movie is very much about somebody just died. We're introduced to he's like a Western writer.
A pulp Western, right?
Is it
Western
Holly? I thought
writer.
it was Harry.
It's
No,
Harry.
it's Holly.
I thought it was Harry too. I wrote Harry all through my notes. Harry.
Yeah, it says in the thing.
Harry Lime.
It was no. Harry's okay. Yeah, Harry. Holly is the other guy.
Martin. I just
Holly
Martin.
Martin.
Except
Okay.
they said Martin and Martins.
They're black and white. They all
Yeah.
look alike.
So they
Oh, jeez.
but there's this like kind of slow lead in, really slow build up to like what's going on. The writers think something fishy happened. Then it just turns on a dime with this creepy when the porter that doesn't speak English dies.
Who didn't really speak English?
And then that
Yeah.
kid is just like murderer, just
Give him a
keeps
papa.
singing. Yeah, I thought that was really unsettling.
Yeah, it was
really
That
unsettling.
was the whole point.
Yeah,
And
that was really good.
The main character,
they just run away.
Joseph-
They're like,
it's Joseph-
we
it's-
should chase.
It's
them."
Joseph Cotton, right? That's the actor who played him. That's the actor who played him.
I believe so. Yes.
He also was part of the Mercury Theater with Orson Welles and did,
Yes,
did
long
Citizen
before.
Kane. So there's a connection.
They were
there
friends
before.
off
They were
set.
Friends off set. Yes. All right, we rehearsed it and it worked.
That was really good.
That was you're in my mind. Get out. He's like he's
Don't
struggling.
look there, don't look there.
You're like he's struggling. He's gonna do the yes. That'll get him back in. That's how you get into Orson Welles. You go yes, always.
Frozen peas.
Anyway, so his character is so pathetic and so bumbling.
Cotton?
Yeah.
Cotton. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No, I think it works, and he's such a blank.
Well, yeah, he's such an everyman. That's his
Yeah.
thing.
But like he had no shot with Anna. Is that
I think
the
that was
character's
her
name?
Yeah.
And she is beautiful.
I thought the two of
She was
them.
a hot
I
box
thought
of
they
rocks.
both were great. I thought the two of them, their little back and forth,
Their
and
repartee?
and how she kind of ended up aligning with
do you feel like
Orson Welles, the third man. Like
do you
I
feel
loved that.
Do you feel like it was kind of a similar feel of Casablanca, where you had this particular place that has different fashions of countries that all are settled in one place, and you have a kind of like a Casablanca feel, but it was more of a not a darker version of Casablanca, but like a more of like the opposite is what happens. You know, like it's more. It's
I get
on
it. Yeah, I
purpose.
get what you mean.
Like it has a Casablanca feel post World War.
More like Casa Stanka. I'll just mute myself.
I thought you were going to go with the shit
I
rocker.
Sound it out.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Aaron.
Say it again.
I'm actually muted, by the way.
I can tell. Yeah. No, I see what you mean though. Like, I think it really comes down to how good they were, though. That you're able to make that connection in the scene, in the setting.
So it's kind of like the anti-Casablanca. Now that I say it, like it's the same thing, but it's like the opposite. It's more pathetic. There's no hope. You know, it's.
When we don't. Well, there was a weird angle. Was it
Dutch?
Was it
Yeah,
explained?
Dutch. About 30 degrees.
There was a lot of Dutch.
I think the whole movie was Dutch.
It was all Dutch. Angles.
Yeah, there was a lot of Dutch in
This movie didn't invent it, but it certainly used it to its full extent.
That's true. Look at all the Dutch in Vienna.
It's an invasion.
Oh my gosh!
The thing about her character that didn't really play in for me, and maybe you guys disagree, was her forged papers or whatever. Like.
It was just a detail to me. It didn't really seem
I guess it
good
tied
or bad.
into her helping later or whatever, but
well, wasn't the main relevance that she got it from what was his name? Who was
That's
really good at
Lime.
getting stuff done.
that's right.
Yeah.
She did. You're right.
Yeah, Lime did it.
Yeah, he was good. They said that the forgeries were a work of art or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You almost missed it.
Yeah. One of the lines when he was trying to,
Always.
I think when Cotton, the writer, was talking to the cop, he said, "I'm only a little fool. I'm an amateur. You're a professional."
Yeah.
That was a great line.
That is
was
a classic
really
burn.
It's a
good.
very good line.
He's gonna need some aloe vera for that
And
burn.
then, right after this, when the cop did this big reveal about how Lime is a shithead,
Yeah,
like just awful.
That's what I'm saying. It's a terrible human being.
Yeah.
with the penicillin.
He's diluting. It's like who's the guy that upcharged the price of medicine to like a ridiculous degree recently?
Big Pharma.
No. The one guy.
I know who you're talking about. Young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just raised the prices.
Is
This was
he
like
arrested now?
yeah, he got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it serves him right.
But Harry Lime basically in the shortage
You
after
can't
the
take
war.
any painkiller for that,
There's a
buddy.
penicillin shortage, and he's like cutting it so that he can make more money.
Could
This
you
is
guys
just
dilute my
awful.
prison sentence?
Yeah. Well, you know what? So I did some back research. Apparently, who's the writer and the director? I forget who it was. I don't know which one particularly.
Carol Reed?
It may have been him. It may have been the producer.
Okay.
One of there was two major producers in it. It may have been the English producer.
Right.
But he wanted to do this idea. But when they were in Vienna thinking about these ideas, there was a penicillin. That was a real thing going on.
I'm sure. Oh,
And,
yeah.
and that's why it really worked in reality.
Well, I loved
So it was topical.
One
huh?
of the things I loved so much about that Ferris wheel scene is how real it felt for that time. Like the things that they were saying were like very much about like. I feel like those are the even the way they were phrasing it. Like he was talking about Italy and Switzerland. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like through
That was
pain is
ad-lib.
when like.
Yeah.
Like
You get
Italy
Leonardo da Vinci
went through
and
this
the
horrible,
Renaissance.
and it led
Yeah.
to the Renaissance. Italy,
and then what I forget what the other place they invented.
Switzerland.
Yeah, in Switzerland.
It's
they had-
all
they-
peace and they're
so-
neutral.
Yeah, and they had brotherly love for years and years. And what they had to show for it? The cuckoo clock. Dun, 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 dun.
Walks away.
That was an ad lib by I think him.
One thing that struck me
Orson.
about that scene in particular was the dialogue.
Yeah.
Another aspect of the dialogue is that it was so natural sounding because it wasn't perfectly paced out like a movie. They were like stepping on each other's sentences because they were arguing.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the only one scene like that because
Of the setting of
Orson.
what
well,
they're doing.
because they know each other.
Yeah.
They performed with each other. They know each other, and it's Orson Welles, his chops of knowing how to
Knowing when to bend the rules.
Yes.
Well, like, and it was such a menacing kind of turn, especially. So we
When he looks
learned
out
about the
those things,
penicillin thing.
You
We
see
don't.
those dots out there.
Yeah, that was so. Like, would it matter if any of them just stopped moving? It's like, oh my god, dude.
No. He holds on to the thing.
He also said, when he was like, do you even believe in God or something?
Yeah.
That he's like, I still believe in God and mercy and all that, but the dead are happier dead.
Oh, then why don't you
Oof.
die?
There's a lot of people
Huh?
I know about. A lot of people, personal people. I'm not going to mention names that think, oh well,
Yeah.
you're better off dead.
No, then you should be the first to
Forever
volunteer. Seriously, if you think that the world is better off dead and you haven't killed yourself yet, you're a hypocrite.
Aaron, where's your arsenic?
It's with the old lace, actually.
Right.
Is that my most intelligent reference? I don't know.
That's very intelligent.
Not saying it's intelligent.
Bully. That's a meta joke for you and I.
Ah, yes.
We should do that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
Arsenic and Old Lace. It's a good movie. All right.
I've not
Let's-
seen it.
The tour moves on.
Two moves on. So kind of before all this is when they show us the sewer, but then later is when it really comes into play.
Foreshadowing.
And that is
how
one
about
of the
Vienna's sewer? Like we got manholes, they got flower holes.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
That's a lot.
They open up like little. When they're like blossoms when they open up, like the little triangles when they open up the manholes.
Oh yeah, I thought that was cool too. You're right. Yeah. I remember now.
Everything's
Yeah.
beautiful in Vienna.
Artistry.
And they said that was post-war, like all that like debris and stuff. That was from the war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
and they used it. They used the hell out of that place.
they really well the lighting they got for it and those big shadows and stuff.
They
where
said
they would
the
see somebody like a huge shadow of somebody chasing after him in the distance. Like it was so impressive.
They won best cinematography, I think, too. I don't know if it won best picture or not, but the cinematographer is considered the best black and white cinematographer.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
Did you
that
guys?
time.
Fun fact: did you know that the opening for our Spook of Madness last year, where everybody's like, with the footage of you guys being scared, the backdrop is this movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
but obviously, this is people who know filmmaking, and some people say that if you want to go to film school,
Watch this movie.
watch this movie over and over again.
Yeah.
because it shows you exactly.
It won't teach you everything, but it'll teach you 90%.
Even the writing. So Graham Greene is a pretty like big writer for the time too. Like he won. I read one of his books. It was he's won the Nobel Prize for literature, and that's not
No small
this
feat.
for this movie or anything. It's in addition. So okay, cinematography. Robert Krasker. Is that who you're talking about?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, important stuff about cinematography. There's one thing I noticed. This movie has very a good, diverse selection of shots. And by that, I mean there are long, completely stationary shots. And then in certain scenes, to actually convey the frantic nature of what's going on, there are quick cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. absolutely.
They have a time and a place.
And
Can
they had good coverage of it too. It wasn't
Yes.
just like quick. It was like really important informational shots too.
Can
Like,
I
it
ask
wasn't wasted.
you what your first reaction was with the long shot at the end?
Oh my God.
Like
Loved it. Just amazing.
But did you like? Oh shit! But that should really happen.
Yeah, that is
I mean-
easily the thing I will take to the grave with me on this
And
movie.
that's filmmaking.
It
Because
did win best cinematography.
It did.
Ben.
So it did. That's filmmaking 101 right there.
I think that's where Kubrick learned his stuff.
Absolutely, a lot of people wouldn't do that. But also that's storytelling too. I guess toward the very end, they weren't. He said the director wanted them to get together, but the producer was demanding no, they shouldn't
No.
get together. It was real. This was an intense shoot and intense production, but the director says he was so right, because it was like brilliant. But like how good was it? You let it linger. She walks by, doesn't even look at him, and then he just lights a cigarette. You know what I mean? It's like that tells
perfect.
so much more.
Yeah.
C'est la vie.
But how many times you would see like so
When it's also like a bookend to the start where it was kind of the same because they started the movie
Yep.
with the funeral sort of too, and they did the same shot
Yeah.
of them driving by, and then they bring this back, and it's this what's going to happen,
and she just walks away, ignores him.
Yep.
It says it's the sentiment of exactly how this guy is. Like this sucks. Like his life sucks.
Like poetry, it rhymes.
Well, and
But,
it goes
there-
and it's to
there-
her character too. Like she, yeah.
There was people up in the trees in the front letting the leaves go.
really?
Yeah, that was my accident. 'Cause
Nice
if you
little
look-
detail.
If you look, because the rest of the trees aren't molting.
Right. Well,
But I wonder how many times they had to like shoot that shot. What do they have to do? All right, do it again. Reset.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, go run.
maybe a few, but I
Yeah.
bet not that many.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about. We just have to talk more about the sewer scene. Like,
So a lot
it
of
just is.
so I found
phenomenal.
Guess what I
they
found
did.
out through different research was that they shot a lot down there in their sewer, but a lot of it was built.
Yeah,
on-
it was
on
some of the only not on
No
location
way.
stuff.
Yes.
I never
A
would have thought
lot of
that.
it was
never
built.
would have thought that.
A lot of it was. This is an expensive movie. A lot of it was built.
Like you think the tighter areas,
I don't
or
know.
like
I-
at like
no,
the
it-
end where that scene where the flashlight goes on him and he's like, ah,
I don't know.
I would bet that was a created
because
set.
some of them are like these huge, like you
And I
just
think-
get
and
the
I-
full
and I think-
width of the
and I
sewer
think
and all the
those-
tunnels and stuff.
I think those are real. And I think what's interesting about this, I think because it is in black and white, you can easily blend.
It's a little easier.
You
Yeah.
can blend things on a soundstage and not on a soundstage.
Yeah.
I really think you can easier.
No
and
doubt.
and all, like people wouldn't. And the shoots on location like this, people wouldn't do.
Yeah, I think the sewer
Even-
stuff is the only not on location
and
stuff.
especially back then. This is like why this is a feat in filmmaking. And I guess they had multiple crews at once, but he had to be in each one. And he said he just slept 2 hours in between each thing to get this movie done.
yeah.
And he said it was interesting. It was just an interesting movie.
Do you know the shoot schedule? Was that in your research?
I don't know the shoot schedule.
Maybe
you
they
know?
didn't say because I tried to find it myself.
I didn't know, but I know that they had more than one team at once getting ready for the next shot. But the director was there for every shot. It wasn't like a second unit or third unit.
I think I know in those days shoots tended to be quick.
Well, I thought an interesting.
I think this was relatively long for and a lot because one of the things the back history is that Orson Welles was they took forever to like he was just being very difficult. He was all around Europe. They were waiting for him to do stuff, but
Couldn't find him.
so they're shooting other things and doing other things, and they had to think creatively. There's a lot of body doubles of Orson Welles, and like everybody you see in the shadows probably a body double. They
I
said
was in Austria sampling the peas.
They said one of the crew members, somebody I forget who, cameraman or somebody, was wearing his stuff, and they because Orson Welles had broader shoulders, they had to put the
pads in.
hanger,
Yeah.
love the hanger in it. But they also said, well, whatever this guy's going to wear, Orson Welles is going to wear it, because we don't have time,
It's really funny.
the eternal diva.
Yeah. Oh God. Very difficult.
What did you guys think?
And he's only
of-
in it for like 6 minutes.
15.
Yeah, he's not in it very much, but he makes a big
Yeah.
impact. Really big impact.
He steals the show.
What did you think of the fact that they didn't show him getting shot? It was kind of off camera.
Well, I think
bold for the time.
what I heard was, I guess I listened to a lot of stuff. I watched, listened to today while I was working. I forget the two directors and writers that did a commentary throughout the whole movie. So I just listened to what they said after already watching it, and what they said. I guess back then they weren't allowed to show any mercy death. It was like
Mercy?
Odd.
No, they weren't because
No
that-
assisted suicide, huh?
Yeah, they weren't allowed to show that. So, but they got
Oh,
away
so
with
because he
But- they got-
whispered, just like nodded, that was considered mercy.
Well, they weren't allowed to show, but that's when they did it off camera. One, it creates a suspense of did Orson Welles shoot?
Well, yeah,
Cotton.
yeah.
Or, but also,
Did he actually shoot him?
Yeah, it was a mercy death. We don't know.
Yeah.
Lime could still be alive.
Yeah.
However, I heard that through this podcast that Orson Welles played this character in radio plays afterwards. And I don't know, they didn't know the exact specifics if they told him how he survived or anything like that. So there's like
Okay.
this stuff, and
Yeah.
isn't that something? All these people put all this time and effort, and the diva milks it for
Yeah.
everything.
This
It
is
doesn't
my
show-
character
they-
now.
They,
Alive.
they go, that's show business. They go, that's just,
That's great.
yeah.
Well,
Yes.
the thing I would say,
Lime.
in addition to the setting and just, they spent a lot of time in the sewer of him getting chased. That's
Yes.
Good time, too.
and to Aaron's point of all the different shots they got,
They sped up the film a little bit too, if you notice.
did they?
Yeah,
I
to make
wasn't
them-
paying
to
close
make them
enough.
run
To,
Did,
yeah.
did you notice, Aaron?
I don't know. If it was done very well.
It's very slight.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No, what were you gonna say? A lot was done in the sewers. There's a lot of
Well, just the fact
there's a lot of
it feels like a payoff for a movie of this time where it's not this like big there's not like a big car chase or some big explosion or something, but it still is like there's a pretty long chase in here of
they
him
finally bring
running
out the
through the
popcorn.
sewer. They bring in like 100 more people to chase him, and he's like, you really get the sense over time of him getting cornered, especially with the lighting
Like
and
a
the
rat.
setting too, and he's just
And-
getting cornered and cornered and cornered down to the spiral staircase, and then plop.
Can you imagine
done.
editing that sequence? Because but trying to put that together with all the shots you're in your guerrilla shooting it, in Vienna too. Apparently there was no storyboards for that. There's no storyboards for any of this.
Yeah.
So it's like they had to just edit it, just
Splice
shoot a lot
it
of
together,
stuff, and
hope
like
it works.
and
Yeah.
it worked.
Yep.
It worked really well.
All right, let's rate this movie.
All right. Who's first?
I
Not
can
it.
go.
I'll give it a 9.
9. Okay.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Because of I think it's one of the few films. I think it's up there with Citizen Kane. I think it's up there with Godfather. I think it's up there as a film.
It's in the pantheon.
But I think it's overlooked a lot, to be honest with you. And I think, but if you go into the if you go into the zeitgeist, and people appreciate this just as much as those films.
It's a Pleitgeist of a zeitgeist. Matt?
Whenever there was a whiz, there was.
I gave it a 7. I don't. I really I don't have a whole lot of qualms. I think part of it is, I would say, kind of the music, but not really.
Wow.
That's not really it. It may be I wanted more Orson Welles. I don't know. Like it was an excellent movie. I don't really know what else to say about
I
it.
love the captain. I thought he was a good character.
Oh, the police.
The police captain was
Yeah,
a good
he was
character.
pretty
And the
good.
other guy, and you show the other guy who his second in command, you actually kind of like, gets shot and killed by Orson Welles. So there's a lot of gray
That's
in it.
right, in the sewer.
And the porter, who knows who killed him,
Yeah. Aaron.
So I did think there were some good characters. Even though Orson Welles
I
wasn't
think
in
every
it.
character was a good character.
They were all
And I-
pretty solid.
And I actually liked that they they had German
I thought
characters.
Anna was really good. I thought she was really good in this movie.
And I thought the side characters were good. Even like the little bit where the older guy, like, you remember him,
The gentleman's club
and
or whatever. Yeah,
and then
he
you realize
kidnaps
then,
him.
then you realize how bad, like how sucky he is. They're like at the end of this, he's putting his head down, like,
Yeah.
oh, can we get this over with? It's
Even
just
the cat was a good character.
in the parrot.
Oh. I liked that shot where they zoomed into the plant and it transitioned outside to then following the cat. I liked that.
Let's see here. What is my rating? It's certainly, I would say, one of the finest movies ever made. I don't think there's any questioning that for most people. It's definitely overlooked a little too much. It's like the redheaded black and white stepchild of the best movies ever. But I liked it a lot. I'm glad we watched it. Let's see. I think the fairer rating would be an 8 from me, but I could easily give it a 9 because while I didn't always agree with the music, it served a purpose. And I felt like I was being taken somewhere, and is that not what movies should do? So I'll give it a 9.
Taken to Bikini Bottom.
So do we all three have to vote this into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it has to be unanimous.
definitely in.
Yeah.
Definitely in.
I don't
Is it
have
in?
the...
Definitely
Okay.
in.
It's in.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. I don't have the
Just
music.
For me, yeah.
Just because of
Let's
just
see.
how to make a film. Just because this is up there with Citizen Kane, this is up there with the construction of a film, and you took a lot of risks back in the day.
It's in the Hall of Fame.
But it was more commercially successful. It was more commercially successful than Citizen Kane, and that's why this director got a lot of credit. There was always these rumors that Orson Welles directed it, but he didn't have anything to do with it.
I think Citizen Kane's better.
I honestly like this better than Citizen Kane.
I like Citizen Kane.
I don't know
better.
yet. I actually haven't seen Citizen Kane in so long. It's not fresh in my mind to make a point.
Maybe
I think Citizen
maybe we'll
Kane.
do that.
I
Yes.
remember liking the
Yes.
camera work in Citizen Kane, but not much else.
But I think a lot of stuff that was in this was pushed by Citizen Kane.
Sure, I mean, Shoulders of Giants and whatnot.
Yes. Next week, we are
Oh, it's
doing
the vote.
a Jim Henson movie. The last I checked, Labyrinth was winning.
Okay.
So please go vote for something.
That's
not
all right.
Labyrinth.
I like the Labyrinth.
I like it too.
I like it too, but I want to. I've
You remind
seen
me of
that.
Man.
I
wanna
want to
do
see those
something
Muppets
else.
take Manhattan.
Yeah.
I want to see the Muppet Caper. I like that one too.
I haven't seen either of those. I haven't seen any of the other three.
We should just do that instead. No, we should
All
just
right,
watch
we'll go
it.
break the vote.
No,
No.
we should just do that next.
No, but for I think it's $3. You can go vote for this.
$3?
That's
$3.
Such a deal.
That's a
a
highway
steal.
robbery. Why would you pay for that?
And that was Ben with Advertising 101.
That's right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Ben. Tune in next week or
Just-
don't.
just-
Well, tune in next week because
just
this is
pirate our
literally
shit.
free.
That's what I would do.
Our show's free, but that's still too expensive.
If you have time to waste, don't waste it here.
We should be paying you all to watch this.
You should binge Frasier instead of watch us.
Yeah, do that actually. That's a good idea.
Until next week.
Bye.